I call the honourable member Holly Walker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The Green Party shares many of the process concerns raised by the previous speaker with this truncated process referral motion. Firstly, we'd note that it does seem that the government is making a habit of referring bills to select committees with shortened select committee processes. And as has been pointed out by the previous speaker, we do have a unique select committee system of scrutiny in New Zealand, which we should be very careful not to undermine with routine shortening of the process. Secondly, as has also been pointed out, this is a vital bill. Well, perhaps the bill itself isn't vital, but the issue it addresses is one of the most significant social and economic challenges facing the country, i.e. the housing crisis and the crisis of affordability. And there is a high degree of public interest in the outcome of this legislation in measures to improve housing affordability, and therefore will be a high degree of public interest in the submissions process on the bill. And there are also a large number of affected stakeholders, aside from the general public and potential homeowners and existing homeowners. There are a large number of institutional stakeholders who deserve the right and the chance to have a decent say on the bill, not least of which are the local councils. And as has been pointed out in the regulatory impact statement, it makes clear there has not yet been consultation with local authorities around the country. And this is a really important point, because while the Auckland Accord has been negotiated, and the Auckland Council is certainly on board with the provisions for that accord, this bill actually extends the possibility of similar accords and of special housing areas around the country, and yet there has been no conversation and no consultation with other councils who are potentially affected. And given that there's a provision for these special housing areas to be rolled out to other regions, and the fact that the government is potentially able to dictate the terms for those special housing areas if an accord can't be reached with those councils, then it seems particularly important that those local government stakeholders do have the opportunity to fully engage with the select committee process on this bill. Similarly, with insufficient information on land supply problems across New Zealand, we need to be clear that the committee has the right information and enough time to digest and process that information before we roll out a bill that extends a model across the whole country, when we haven't even yet analysed whether and how it needs to apply in other parts of the country. So for these reasons, Mr Speaker, we certainly oppose the truncated process at the Select Committee. We think New Zealanders have the right to have their say at the Select Committee, and that it's a complex and technical piece of legislation addressing a very important social and economic challenge, and therefore parliamentarians need sufficient time to engage with the material as well.
I call the honourable member Chris Hipkins.
Well, that's very fortunate, Mr Speaker. That's